Well, hello, folks. I am here. I am live, and I'm using Google Hang, trying to get the hang of this. But I'm going to have somebody send me a message and tell me what's the easiest way to get to my chat, because I do not think it comes through on Google Hangouts itself. So I am going to pull up my live stream. So if anybody has joined in, give me just a second to get this figured out, and then we'll go from there. And let's see here. The easiest way I find is I just go to my channel and pop it up from there. But if there is anybody that knows how to correctly do that, or the easiest way, let me know, because I'm just not used to this platform for streaming. So let me go to view channel. If anybody's out there, I just want to say hello. I'll catch y'all's names. There we go. Hello, Susie. I am early today, earlier than I normally am, but I wanted to get, I wanted to do this. I got pretty excited about the haul I picked up at the auction last night. Yeah, I know. Typically it's late when I do this, and it's just because I have so many other things going on typically that I do it when I can. Anyway, for those that might be watching this later, or anybody that might be jumping in, I am Rod at Win by Doing. I do eBay. I do reselling part-time. I do have a 9-to-5. My wife and I own a business, and I do this kind of as a hobby. It's not that I just like to store stuff. I like to hold on to. I love vintage items, and I like the hunt. I like picking things up, and I like making a profit on them, and trying not to be a hoarder. But as you can see, my office here is being overrun. I like to say, just like everybody else, I'm getting geared up for fourth quarter. Not really. It's just I'm finding some decent stuff out there and things that I just want to try out. Anyway, I mainly sell on eBay, but I also dabble in Poshmark, Etsy a little bit. I'm not overly huge fans of those platforms. It's not to say that they're not great. They're just not for me and what I do. Hello, Kat. Welcome. Thanks for jumping in. For those of you that don't know, Kat is my wife, and she likes to come in and heckle me. And, I'll take support where I can get it. But typically these live auctions are on Friday nights, and I usually don't get a chance to attend them for whatever reason, whether we have a lot of stuff going on or whatever. But because one of their sons is playing football, they have moved the live auctions to Wednesday nights. So I've been going the last 3 weeks. I've gone to the live auction. If you've never been, they are a blast. The only recommendation I give you is make sure you know how the auctions run. I learned the first week that this method of doing auctions is something I wasn't used to. I'm getting a little bit better at it, but I grew up in Oklahoma. Going to auctions with my dad, and most of those are farm auctions, and we would go and they would do lots or an item depending on size or the value, and you would bid on that auction. You might have a couple auctioneers running different parts of the auction, but you're bidding on one item or one lot at a time. Here they do it by table. So they might have 2 tables sitting out. They might be doing 1 table at a time, but there's different, and I think that depends on whose lot it is, because they have these consigners come in and bring their stuff in, and that's how they kind of separate on the tables. So you're bidding. Typically they have a table. If it's in a tray, everything goes in that tray, unless it's jewelry on their little fancy black felt trays, and then it's per piece. But everything else on the table is you're bidding on one price, and you get to go up and pick whatever's on the table. And you're really just hoping that somebody doesn't want the same item that you have, or you're going to be, or you need to be willing to pay a little bit more for it. I'm typically toward the end, unless there's something I really want, and I typically wait till the price goes down, because they usually have something a little bit of more value that somebody is really wanting. They might bid the table up to $60, $100, whatever. And then basically, once that person comes, let's say the bid gets up to $100. Once that person goes up there, anybody else that wants something off that table for that same price, they line up at the end of the table, and then they can go through that. And while that transaction's going through, the auctioneer is moving on to the next item, maybe on the other side of the room. So you just got to know which tables you're wanting to look at, what items you're wanting, and how much you're willing to pay for those items. But yeah, that's typically how this auction works. A little confusing in the beginning, but it's gotten, I've gotten a little bit better at it. And I know I watched some of the other folks that are there bidding, and I know there's quite a few resellers there. I met people that have antique booths. I know a guy there that does he owns like an antique store, him and his wife. And I know I see, people like me that are just reselling, whether it be on eBay. I see a couple guys there every week doing pulling up comps on the eBay app. But they're selling things that I'm not. I think that's one thing that gives me an advantage. You have typical items that everybody knows can be sold on eBay. I'm not that guy, because I know that those items everybody's looking for. And unless I get a really good deal on it, I plan on them being long tail items because of how flooded the market are on some of those items. So without further ado, I'm going to go right back into what we did. I'm going to go past my dinner. That's something too. They do home cooked dinners kind of. Yesterday it was chilly. It was pretty decent. Could use a little salt, but I don't know if you guys, I don't know if my thumbnail came across. I'm going to attempt to share my screen and show you this is the oddest thing that I picked up probably today that probably nobody else would pick up. I'm really hoping that based on the price that I picked it up for, I'll do okay on. So we're going to see if I'm going to fail this or not. And I want to screen share. And let me pull these. I'm going to try to do this so I don't show the oh, here we go. That never ending. That's not it. Okay. Give me just 1 second. If you guys could, somebody in the chat, let me know if you can see my screen. I guess I should pull up where I can actually see the screen. Anyway, the first thing I picked up, I'm going to just try to stretch this out. I want to assume you guys can see my screen. I should actually follow the chat on my phone. So I picked up this lot of grow lights, and I'm hoping, based on the price, I know Kat already knows, but I paid $5 for these, and I would say they're actually the reflectors themselves, brand new, you're talking $80 to $110, $120 a piece for those. I've currently put them on Facebook Marketplace for $30 a piece. I have not had any takers yet, but I am pretty I feel like I have a good chance. I am. Give me just a second. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up my my chat right now. Oh, yes, I can see. Have I ever sold grow lamps before? No, but I'm hoping that being right across from a friendly state, that somebody over there might be able to come over and pick them up. I know that's limited what but you can use them for gardening as well. If I was going to keep them, that's what I would be using them for. I have not listed these transformers. I'm just having a little bit more difficult or it's a little bit more difficult for me to find exactly what the market's going to be for them. So I may even sell those online. I'll stop sharing here for just a second. Make sure I'm back. I know there's value there. I know there's more use than just using them for your plants, but we'll see on those. But all that stuff, I would say I can't remember. I went out and counted them earlier, but as old as I'm getting, my memory is the first thing to go. And hello, Kelly, and hello, Missy. I forgot to say hello to you. I want to say I have 9 to 14. I had counts and they're huge. I couldn't bring them into my room because of the size. That's why I went ahead and took pictures and brought them in to show you. As you know, if you watch any of my other videos, I pick up a lot of weird stuff. That's really how I learn. I mean, I can sit and watch YouTube videos all day, but some of this stuff you don't see. I mean, how many other YouTubers have you seen pick up hello, Jennifer, thanks for jumping in. How many other YouTubers have you seen go out and source grow lights to resell? I'm the first one that I know of, but if you don't know, if you don't take a chance, you don't know. So we'll see. Hopefully you'll hear in a future sold video that I actually sold those. I just listed them this afternoon. No one has messaged me yet, but I am hopeful on that. $5 for all of those. I did buy a colorful floor lamp, probably the worst purchased. Cat's like, the one we bought I only paid like $10 for, and I gave $1. Let me make sure. Yes, I gave $1 for it. I thought I brought it in here, but I didn't. But it's just a light with like 4 different lights coming out, and for $1, I'm the buck guy. If I go to auction, you get all caught up into it, and all of a sudden they go down to $1 on something, and they're like $1, and nobody. I'm the one that, okay, I'll go ahead and take it just to get the auction going. So I paid $1 for this lamp. I'm going to try to get maybe the $10. Maybe somebody out there in Facebook land doesn't realize that they're, $15 to $20 for them new. The people will probably want to be kept anonymous if they're from Idaho. You're absolutely right. But I put them on Marketplace, not on the local group. So, but there's a lot of gardeners here in town. There's garden associations and everything else. Somebody's going to want those grow lights. Okay, next. Okay, this is, where did I put these? I thought these were really cool. These are some kind of architectural salvage. I'm assuming they're wrought iron. Cast iron. What's the difference? Anybody know? I'll go through each one. I gave $3 a piece for these, but they're these crosses. I know they're worth $3. Steve and Steph sell quirky things that they buy from surplus auctions too, and they have done well. I bet the grow lights will sell. I really do think they will too. But to be honest, I don't know where these would have been used, or if I guess they would have just been hung. These two have actual nails at the top, and I haven't decided if I'm going to sell them by the pair or by the set. I'll probably push, if I sell them by the pair, I'm thinking maybe 30. I mean, tell me if you think I'm crazy. These here do not have any nail holes on them, but they have them here. So I don't know if they would have gone on top of a fence, but they are threaded. So I mean, they would have been put on something and screwed in from the bottom. So they do have some screw holes there. And the fleur-de-lis, am I pronouncing that right? Do I have the right word? These are probably my favorite ones right here. And these may have been made decorative. I do see, you know, how vintage can these be? These are probably made this way, but they have made in China. These have made in China stickers on the back of them. But you know, it's not gonna. Thanks for that suggestion, Kelly. $39.95 for the pair. But I thought those are totally cool. $3 a piece, so $6 for the pair. And I think I'll do okay with those. Here I am bringing spiders into my house. Just kidding, Kat. I didn't say the S word. Okay, next thing we have is this next flat. It's a box I paid $20 for, and really it's just nostalgia. You know, even growing up into my teens, even late teens, I loved animation. I loved the, you know, maybe I'll keep one of those around for those times when I'm really in trouble. I paid $20 for this. And it was really, like I said, it was really because of nostalgia. But at the same time, I will definitely make my return on investment, I believe. And I'm not going to, well, let me just get right into it. It is a box of Transformers. Transformers stuff. Let's just say that, because they are not everything in here is Transformers. Not all of it's vintage. My favorite piece, though, and I had the hardest time picking this up or trying to put this back into a semi. But this, if you guys don't know Transformers, this is Optimus Prime, and I'm going to see if I can get him apart, because I never had one of these when I was a kid. I always wanted them, but they were too darn expensive for our household. And my parents probably didn't even know I wanted one. But you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we grew up knowing, you know, we didn't ask for a ton of stuff because we knew the situation we were in. And I'm going to try this, but it's almost like a puzzle. And things snap, and I'm going to probably break something if I try too hard. Okay, I got the windows open. How long before Rod just gives up? Oh, I got his head out. That does come off. And I believe I may end up just giving up on this, because I know that I'm terrible. Okay, I know the grill came out. Sorry. I paid $20 for this lot. So just because I'm not the best at this, I'm not going to break him right now. I know somehow I have to pull his wheels out. Oh, there's the... Okay. Anyway, you get, this is Optimus Prime doing yoga. And I'm not even going to pretend like I know how to pull him. I have to go watch a YouTube video later to figure out how to pull him apart and put him back together. Hey, Ken, how you doing? Hey, thanks for at least stopping in and saying hello. I do appreciate that. So Optimus Prime was probably the best thing in there. I mean, I have this guy right here. And the one thing I didn't understand on him is you know, he's a jet, right? And then he's a little bit easier to open up and stuff. But the interesting thing about him was when you pull his, I'm gonna attempt to do this anyway. Of course, I said he was a lot easier. When you pull his head out there, he's got a helmet to actually make his robot head. But I don't know, you know, when kids played with these before, where did they... I'm just pulling out his feet and legs. That goes back down. And I want to say those go back up. But anyway, I was a huge fan of Transformers when I was growing up. So like this pickup was more of a nostalgic pickup for me. But well, this probably goes down. Like again, I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos to find out how to put him together and take him back apart. So anyway, that was in there. This one's plastic. The thing about Optimus Prime, he was metal. So I mean, a lot. I want to say he's probably earlier, just because they made toys a little bit better. I think earlier on. I don't know. He looks familiar. If anybody in the chat knows who he is, I want to say Transformers came out. They were big in the 80s. So I want to say probably when I was in high school. So mid to late 84 to 87, I believe. I sat here and I was sitting here looking at this thing. For the life of me, I was like, what is this? Is it a wall hanging? I mean, it comes out, things pop out here, and you know, his arms here. I was like, you know, it's a modern piece, you know, look down, copyright 2008, and I saw DreamWorks, and then I realized it was a DVD. So this is Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, two-disc set. So I had a good laugh at myself when I was trying to figure out what the heck this was. Oh, this is even later. I didn't even notice what this was when I first looked at him. There was a later series of Transformers. There's one with a dinosaur. I'm not going to attempt to take him out or take him apart. I was having a hard enough time with Optimus Prime. So the dinosaur. Some of the stuff I have not even looked at yet. Here's another one. I'm really going to have to figure this one out because it's got a little thing with a trigger on it. And I really have no idea what that... Oh, you know what? I bet he transforms into a gun. I bet that's what it is. But I'll be definitely doing more research. If I would have had these as a kid, I would probably know a little bit more about them. And this is just another bag of smaller versions. There's a little puzzle box. I'm not going to bore you with all of these bits and pieces. Some of, you know, just little bitty small ones. So these will probably go in a lot. But I think there is a huge following for Transformers. There's one of their guns. And then they had odd stuff in there. And I know I have seen... I'm going to put this back here for a second. I know I have seen this night before. I just don't know where. So, this was thrown in there as well. A knight on a horse. I mean, I'm sure this alone is at least $10 or $15 is what I'm guessing. I I do. I know Izzy, my daughter, she sold. That's not as old as some of the things she sold, but definitely when you're out looking, don't be afraid to looking up old. She sold some, a rubber dinosaur, rubber shark from the 80s that was going for, she sold 20, 30. I think one of the toys, small toys she did, went up to like 40, 45. But definitely when you're out there, don't be afraid to look at the old, like, just rubber toys. I mean, you wouldn't think that they would be worth anything, but I don't know if you guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with I'm talking. If you haven't seen one of her old, let me pull something up here real quick, and I'll just share with you, just so, I hate to tell you something and then you not have an understanding what I'm talking about, because there is money to be made on what would almost seem like, you'd be like, what the hell is he talking about? How to wait for my internet to catch up with me. And can we please be patient with me? I'm pulling this up real quick. Sold. Okay, I'm just gonna show, and I don't think it's gonna show me all of them, because here's a shark. Bear with me for just a second. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen here in just a second. I pulled one of them up. I'm gonna actually open it up in a new tab, and I'm gonna open this one up in a new tab. There's 3 items I want to show you that if you haven't watched, okay, I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm trying to monitor chat at the same time. Okay. Really should hook up my second monitor so I can keep things a little bit separate. Screen share. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is a little jointed dinosaur from an old play school from 1987. This one was only $13 for the one, which is a pretty decent price when you look, and you could probably pick this stuff as for pennies. This was a pretty good shocker for me. I don't know if you guys remember, way back in the 80s, Pizza Hut did a promotion for Land Before Time animated film, and these were little hand puppets that they had. She sold these for $46 plus shipping. Those when she did put those to auction. And then here's this shark. I mean, it's just an old rubber shark. Kind of give you an idea what. And I think something you might look for is look for things made from in Hong Kong, and that imperial symbol there. That's something that you want to keep an eye on. I think that drives there's a collector market out for that. Right in here, and that one went for $30. And let me go back to let me switch back over. I guess I just had to hit stop sharing. But yeah, definitely look for some of the, when you're out looking, and stop by the toys and see if you find those, or if you see them in garage sales and stuff like that. Definitely check out those old rubber toys. I bought a bike. I didn't bring that in. It was too big to fit in my office. Just a BMX style bike. It was probably a bad purchase as well. I'm not gonna lie. I'll probably just spray the sprocket down. It was some weather to it with some WD-40, and I'm going to try to get 30-40 bucks for it, or whatever offer I can get. But I figured for $5 I should be able to sell it locally, and get it out of my hair. Next thing, hello, Easy Pickens. Thanks for jumping in, joining the show this evening. I'm about halfway, well, not quite halfway through my haul from the auction yesterday. This next set, it was a Sega Genesis flat. And to be honest with you, I have one of the newer Genesis little machines in there, but I didn't have any controllers for it. And I told my daughter about Spyro, and she wanted to play, and was pretty disappointed when we didn't find the controllers for that Genesis. So I picked this box up, and I paid. This is just going to go in my personal collection, and this one was $20. I got the Genesis. I have not tested this yet, but it will be tested soon. I got the Genesis. I got Sega Football 1994. Sega. How was that? I have X-Men 2. And Hard Driving from Tengen. I didn't even pull comps on these just because I wanted the and Doom. Ta-da. And then I got books for Two Crude Dudes and Jurassic Park, but those games were not in here, so they probably sold those or did something else with them. But the most importantly, I got 2 controllers, the power supply, and all the connectors for it. So again, this is going to be my personal collection. $20 for all that, and that is a decent price. It might be a little bit on the high side. I'm not sure where Segas are sitting right now as far as comps go. I'm just going to pull that up real quick to say whether or not Sega Genesis console. Let me see. Pull up solds. Yes, that was Doom 32X. And make sure you can see that. Is that showing up backwards to y'all? I'm just, I don't, like I said, $20 if you're trying to resell, that might be a little bit, too high for selling. But like I said, for my personal collection, it's right in there. I guess there's one that sold low for $20. I'm not sure why. Oh, they had it on sale. Looks like, according to eBay, they're trending at $43 for the console. But I would say probably typically right now you're probably looking at around $20 to $30 for the console. So I'm right in line with, but I didn't have to pay shipping. So yeah, definitely don't pay $20 for a Sega if you're wanting to resell. I personally needed it, or not needed it. I wanted it for our collection. What in the heck did I just... I honestly do not know what it says. Pet cage, $2.50. Oh, is that what I know? Pet cage. I'm gonna have to think about what the heck that is that I paid $2.50 for. Anyway, I'll move on because I don't know what lens. $20. Man, I tell you what, they put some weird descriptions on it here. I'll go down from below. Okay. I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to think of what they put on my invoice. That let's see. I will keep it. The next thing, I got this HP photo printer. To be honest with you, the ink is probably worth what I paid for it. $7.50. It doesn't look like it was used much, and it did not come with the power cable. At least, you know what? I think it did. I think it just ended up getting thrown in the wrong box. No, it does not have the power cable, but I'm almost positive I have one in the in my room. I've got a box full of cables. HP Office OfficeJet 100 mobile printer. I think those are going for 40 used, and I paid $7.50 for it. I don't want to lie and say that without double checking. That I thought I did pull comps on, and I've been picking up a lot of electronic stuff, and I'm just waiting for. Let's see, sold. HP OfficeJet mobile. Well, there's one that went for 175, so maybe I was looking at something else when I let's pull up used. So yeah, $40 to $50 is what they're typically bringing, and that is if I find the power cord. For $7.50, even if I can't find the cord right away, and I'm not going to dig and dig, I'll look online and find one. If I can get one for around $5, I'll just I'll just order it and pair it with some more cables and with the ink. I think I can definitely bring, bundling it up like that. I think I can definitely bring the higher end of that. Just the wireless printer working free shipping. That was with free shipping. Somebody sold for 50. Pre-owned. It did come in the box. Somebody sold one for 100. So prices are a little bit all over the place. I may just go ahead and put it. If I can find all the cords and everything, I'll bundle it with the ink and aim a little higher, just selling it as a bundle. I did get a couple plush for my daughter. Paid $10. It was a big dog that looked like our Labradoodle, kind of in a weird way. But so I don't have that down here. Table remains, intercom system, basket parts, etc. Now this is when they get down to the auction and nobody bought everything at a per item. They end up either breaking it into lots, like they'll split the table into 3 different larger lots and try to get some money out of it. And then it gets down. I bought this table remains, and I know you're going to, I was kind of wondering, I paid $2.50 for it. And I was like, what the heck did I just buy? Well, we'll go through that. The first thing I have is this. I didn't know what it was. I saw the first time I saw the can from a distance. It's Power Punch. I didn't read the bottom of the can. I was like, and I've got, I'll show you, I've got 5 cans here. They're quart cans. And I've got 4 plastic quart bottles there. The last one, I did pull a comp on this one once I got out to the car. I'm like, what am I going to do with this crap? And then I realized, oh, it's Power Punch oil supplement. made in Seattle, Washington, and it's lubricant for your car, designed for improving all motor oil and torque converter fluids, cushion seals and reduces heat in all motors, and automatic. The It's Power Punch. There is one like it is it coming across backwards on for y'all? I'm seeing it's read backwards, but anyway, there's one that does not have the call out background there, but it went for like $40 or $50 on auction. Now I don't know. They are metal cans. I believe later on, and even now, you can buy this stuff, but it comes in more modern. So I listed this at vintage. The last one that was similar to it sold for, I think, $45. It was a metal can. It did not have the red call out. It just had the words Power Punch, and I think the Power Punch might have been in red as well. Let me see if I can. I was like, oh, if that's the case, if I can get even half that, if I even get half that, I've made, my 250. If I could make even a buck a can, I've made my 250. But even the modern stuff is selling for $9 a can. So I think that I might have something there. I don't know yet. But again, this is in that lot of $2.50 for the table. Now, it was real funny because the auctioneer, he picked these up and his mind automatically went thinking that these are some kind of something you might hang from a ceiling. But these are on the table as well, and they're actually harnesses for mountain climbing, or doing the rock wall at your local community center. That's actually what these are. So definitely, again, I'm making my $2.50 back. I don't know if somebody that. I'm sure I'll find somebody. These are very small sizes. So that's what those are. Pick those up in that same lot. This one here this is an intercom system for motorcycles. It's not Bluetooth or anything. It's not wireless. I mean, honestly, I'll be lucky if I can get, $10 out of it, I think. Maybe I'll listen for 15, 20, best offer. It'll be easy to throw in a poly mailer and mail first class. It does work. I tested it out, but it basically has headphones that connect in. It runs off battery, and it also has inputs for your radio, and I don't know what PTT is, but it's got driver passenger input or output and another auxiliary in. So that was in the lot. Again, everything in this little section right here, we're talking fractions of pennies for the dollar. I've got in the same $2.50 table, I got some tools, which I know they're open because I had it open before. I'm trying to see if there's a date on these. You can tell by it's Burns-O-Matic 21-piece, quartered and 3/8 socket set. You can tell that there might be a market for these. You can tell it's vintage just looking at the artwork on the cover, but it looks to be complete. Everything is there. Sorry for bumping that mic there. So I thought that was a cool find. All that vintage art that's on. I mean, I get into seeing that. And here's another. This is another combination 3/8 and quarter drive socket set. This one was made by Oxwall Tools, and it is missing sockets, and it does show more signs of wear. So I don't know. We'll see what I can get for that, if anything. The box is in kind of rough condition. There is some rust. But yeah, I mean, I think overall I did pretty good. And there was junk. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've got, this is what I'm going to call a box of junk. I mean, I don't even know what does this go to. I mean, I do have a sprocket if there's a number on that, and that looks in pretty good condition. This might have been part of a motorcycle, but you know, if there's no numbers on it, I wouldn't even know where to begin to look. So there's a chain in there. Again, I have no idea what that is. OSK made in Japan. Looks like something should slide up and down, but oh, it's like a piston. I'm gonna make a mess here, but that might go. This is a piston off of something. Another OSK sprocket. I mean, like I said, I don't know U-joint boxes, but there's only maybe some bearings in there. This one might actually. It says U-joint, but on the tape it's CV grease. So I mean, I wouldn't even think to buy. That is a timing chain kit. I would not even know how to tell if it was all there. But thanks for the info. That'll give me somewhere to look. That looks like a distributor cap or something similar to that. I don't know. I am not. This it looks like, yeah, I'm probably motorcycle stuff. To me, it's not. It's going to go right over here on my shelf. Most of those pieces go together. Suzuki Sidekick, perhaps. That will give me a direction to look. And last but not least, in that lot is a hook. Sell the metal stuff as steampunk lot. That is a great idea. I would have never have thought about that. But that would be bolted onto something. So that was my $2.50 lot. I think that I'm going to do okay on it. I'm going to try not to get. I thought I had paper towels down here somewhere, but I'm going to get everything else dirty from here on out. Probably should have saved that box for later. Going up, magazines. Yeah, I'm gonna. Let me give me just a second. Sorry about that. I wanted to get all that grease and stuff off my hands before I mess with the magazines. Now, I don't know how many people. This one, I saw these and I thought, you know what? I don't want to let them go for a stupid price. And I actually, instead of waiting for the second time around on the table or the third time around on the table, actually, I think it was a second time. But instead of waiting for a third or fourth with a chance of them going out, I went in and got in line. When the table was at $10, I paid for this box of magazines. And I know it's not going to be the most exciting thing for you, but this is the box. And I'll just pull. There's individual boxes in here. Some of these aren't in the greatest shape, but most of them are pretty decent. These are Modern Railroader magazines, and I did pull comps on these. These are from, looks like a lot of them from the 70s. There's 78. So yeah, it looks like they're by year. they may be separated by year. I could either sell these individually. I think I'm just gonna lot them up, and let me pull out another. I just want to see what but these are 80s, so 70s, 80s. Some of the early ones go quite a bit, but it's basically modeling is a big hobby, and I've sold a lot of like war miniature hobby books and stuff like that, and that's really what this does. It shows different techniques for doing your model trains. And some of the comps, I mean, I went anywhere from $9 a magazine to, I saw some, and again, I may be off the mark, but it may be dependent on the year. But I've seen, I've seen, lots of 7 to 10 go up to $50, $60 a piece. Kit about $1 to $1.50 if complete. Okay, got you on that. That was I'll look into. I'll spend a little bit of time on it, but for me, I like your idea of selling it as a steampunk lot. But because I do this part time, I typically don't. I've gotten to the point where I like to do minimal testing. I know the things that I'll do testing on, and I'll do really minimal cleaning. I mean, all the old radios and stuff that I sell, I'll wipe them down. I might put a toothbrush with some water to it, but as far as getting down inside of it, and one of the vintage radios I have listed right now, I know what it is that probably needs to be changed, but I just don't take the time to go and get out my soldering iron and do that. It's just I'll put it on, and hopefully, I've done pretty good on it the way I've been doing it. But I definitely, that's really why I don't put a ton of time into a lot of this stuff. Now I am this weekend. I'm speaking of the next, we'll go right back into, I guess I'm just rambling right now, but on this lot, I'm hoping to turn that $10 investment into, I want to shoot and be optimistic and say $200, but even if I make $100 off of $10, I'm happy with that. Going into the next, I don't know if you can see these. I'm going to grab my camera real quick. Those two bookcases right there, they're just metal bookcases. I bought those at the auction last night and paid $10 each for them. I've got a room right on the other side of this wall that I have all my other stuff in. I am devoted this winter to selling it all. That's what my goal, not all, because I'll be replenishing, but now that summer is winding down, the ice cream business is pretty much come to an end. I mean, we got till the end of the month, 2 more weeks. I'm hoping that I'll be able to devote any time that I would have put towards that to focusing more on this and getting rid of a lot of stuff. But the next lot I picked up, and I'll tell the story here. I paid $12.50 for this lot, and it is a wee lot. I'm sure you can recognize the balance board here. This, I really need to look at what I'm going to do. $12.50 is, I felt, was a decent deal. I mean, everyone has Wii Fit Plus. Some of the sport games do better than but that's Wii Party. I didn't really particularly buy it for the games. I think I've got for all of those. There's a Wii Fit battery pack. I've never even heard of that. But I wanted more because I can't have enough nunchucks It came with the nunchucks. And all this for $12.50. It is. I know Lonnie over at Garage Flips. He was talking how he sells the consoles alone for $30 without any wires or anything. And this is one of the ones that has the connectors for the game that you can use the GameCube controllers with. This is the little motion pack. This will be kept because I've got a couple of controllers that need these. Izzy loves the Wii. So anytime her friends come over, I mean, that's usually the console that her and her friends gravitate towards. There's another Wii Sports, and it looks like another. I'll have to see what's on this CD, but there's Wii Sports, and it also has, you know, all the motion detector. It's got the cables and cords, the power supply, the stand. I mean, we all know what Wii's look like, I think. Here's looks like a rechargeable battery. I'd be interested to see if this actually works, because that might be a little nice to have. And it looks like it plugs in using just a USB, but it's got a rechargeable battery and these little controller rubbers, and of course the one for the balance board. So $12.50 for a Wii. The thing about Wiis, I probably have about eight or 10 of them. And again, I'm going to make the joke that I'm gearing up for fourth quarter, but I'm actually going to start testing all of those and getting them out. I mean, I'm sitting on money there that there's really no excuse for, except I've just been too lazy and not taken one of my beer drinking nights and testing out Wiis instead of drinking beer and watching YouTube. So that's definitely going to be on my radar to get done. Like I said, I've got like 8 of them. So what is that? If you're getting $30 a console, $250 less, $240 less fees and everything else. Metal Garden Dog and Pig. This is funny. It's not a garden dog and pig. Let's see. What did I get for this? Is this the one? Yes, $10. And it's a little metal pig. And not a dog, but a donkey. The sad thing about the donkey is it's only got 3 legs. So this is a poor purchase. But I really think that this pig, I should be able to get, you know, $30. I'll get my money back. It would have been nice if I would have had the donkey with a 4th leg. But unless there's somebody out there with a 3-legged donkey, I don't think that this is going to sell. So that was another bad purchase. But I'm not going to just show you all the wins that I have. I'm going to show you all the crap stuff that I buy too. But definitely, I will make my what I say, $20. No, I'm sorry. I paid $10 for the 2 of them. I will definitely make my money off of that. Yeah, I'd make my $10 back and maybe about $10 to $12 more. I am going to put this on for $30 and see what I can get. This would be a good item to go to test for cubic rate shipping, just because it's a little bit heavier, and I know it'll fit my 8x8x8 boxes, which, you know, typically those qualify for cubic rate shipping. And the weirdest thing, I for the life of me, I cannot figure out. I've got 2 things on here that I cannot figure out what they are for a total of 20. Oh, you know what? This is what they. Unless I didn't look at this close enough. They call this a lens on my invoice. And this one will definitely be tested out. It's a Canon Vixia HF10. I paid $20 for this. It's not new by any means, but I did look at it, and it does. It's just a little video camera, and that's probably why I don't know why nobody wanted it, unless, well, I'm probably one of the only guys there that was looking at electronics. So, but it does have the cable. There's a disc in there, and I thought it was kind of odd. It has a wireless controller, but I thought it was odd that it was gray and not black. But I'm sure it goes with it. But these, before I make a liar out, let me just double check on that one. I look at comps on these. I'm like, that's a hell of a deal if I can pick that up for pretty cheap. I'm just pulling up the comps on that because for some reason I thought it was going well over $100. But let me pull it up real quick. Canon Vixia HF10. I could probably screen share just to show you. Okay, let me look at solds. Okay, so it's not going as high as I thought. Auctions. Well, there's one buy it now with the SD card recording and internal memory HDMI. There's one listed out there that went with the remote and the. Here, let me just share my screen real quick, just so you can see what I'm looking at. So there's one right there going 159, and that's just like mine. It's got which would come with the cable, the remote, and the camera itself. I'll have to look and see why. Like, they're auctions. I mean, this is something I probably wouldn't do auction. Auctions are going at $50, $75. There's one with a bag for $109. So I may have a Canon bag in the other room. So it looks like just the camera itself's going for about 50 to 60, but with the I think having the remote and the cable and everything else, and that is if it tests out. I'll probably put it out there for 125, right in between the 100 and 160, just to see if I can, just to get it gone. So definitely worth a $20 investment there. And then I think the only other thing I could not figure out on my invoice was the pet cage for $2.50. I don't even know what that. The only other thing I had sitting here that I forgot to go through, there's always something, but it looks like a gourd. Maybe I can hang that up for a birdhouse. And some old bottles, they'll probably sit around here until I finally decide to donate them or something. I don't know if I want to. I think there's probably a ton of bottles out there, but this is all part of that table lot as well. This is a Victoria, Austria is what's on back. It's a little cup and saucer. If you guys know anything about China or whatever you would classify this, Victoria, Austria, number 201. So that was in my table. That was $2.50. Being in a box is a big plus. Yes, that will add as well. And I'll just have to pack it in there really good and put it inside. And that it's not that heavy. So I would still probably, at that price, I would probably do that priority, put it in one of my my 8x8x8. That's my go-to box lately, because I have a lot of things that will fit either in the 8x8 or smaller, where I cut it down, or I'll put two of the boxes end to end. and just to give a little bit more space. But at least for right now, that's one of my go-to boxes. But anyway, that is it. Total spent on all that stuff we just went through. With my dinner, let me make sure I go to the right invoice. With my dinner and 5 hours of entertainment at the auction, with buyer's premium, I spent a total of $200.79. And some of this stuff's going to auction, so it's hard to pinpoint a hard, what I think I'm going to make on this. But I'm hoping that you guys will see some of these items real soon. I know some of the stuff I showed from last week's auction has already been selling. I've been selling some of that fishing gear. The photos, not so much. I think it was probably a bad choice to put the photos at auction. I think I'm probably just going to put them at a set price at anywhere from, $3 to $5. Buy it now, and just to get them to move. But I haven't had any takers on that. But surprisingly, the fishing reels I thought were going to do worse than the lures. But they're still. I think I've got 5 or 6 things with bids. The automobile photos I showed, they are, I think, up to around 26, 28. I don't know, 30. I think it was 26 something last time I checked. So if you're into old vintage photos of automobile stuff, definitely check that out on my eBay listing. I do post some of this stuff periodically on my Instagram, and it's Rod_@_WBD, I think, when by doing. So feel free to follow me there, as well as somebody just messaged me about my reflectors. I might be selling those, but anyway, I'll try to put my Instagram thing on down below. Also, if you guys ever have any questions on anything that I do, feel free to email me, and that's Rod@WinByDoing. That's typically down below in the description as well. I'm just not real good right now putting a lot of links and stuff in there. So, and I also do a Facebook group, which is small but growing. I like to say that it's the second best Facebook group out there for resellers, just so that you don't have overly high expectations and you'll be pleasantly surprised at the quality of people out there. And I put information in there as well. Anyway, thanks for joining me this afternoon, this evening, morning, wherever in the world you might be. And I will catch y'all next time. Good night.